Hi, my name's Paul Nyman and I've been recruiting for the last 25 years. A period of that time has been working for large global corporate businesses to help them develop their talent teams. And for the last 20 years, I've been interviewing people as part of my own personal recruitment business, where I've interviewed in excess of 25,000 people. In this series, the interview questions, we're going to deal with the first interview. How to be successful at the first interview. We're going to look at what the interviewer wants, what you need to do in terms of preparation, and how you can leave them wanting more so they bring you back for that second stage interview. So, without further ado, let's kick off. So, the first interview is all about culture check. It's about values. It's about understanding, are you the sort of person that we want in our business now? And so, the really important thing around a lot of the first interview is about you getting on with the people who you're meeting. This isn't about schmoozing up. This isn't about actually being all lovey and cozy. What it's about an alignment between your values and the values of the business. So, no surprise, I'm going to tell you to get your preparation up to date in advance. Number one, research the company. Research it not just on the website, but in terms of their products, their competitors, the projects that are going on in their business and their marketplace, and the type of assignments and programs that they've delivered most recently. Understanding that will give you an insight in terms of the language and the types of behaviour that goes on in their industry, but also, more importantly, in their business. Number two, research the person who you're going to be meeting. LinkedIn's a great tool for this. The internet's a great tool. Understand their background, understand what they've done before, and the type of things they brought into the marketplace. That might be about research papers they've launched. It might be about trade bodies that they're a part of, or actually training programs that they've actually been on. And most importantly, know the job that you're going for. Go back over the application that you've made. Check out the job description that you've read. Look at the key skills that they're looking for. Look at the values and the mission of the business that's intertwined within the job description itself. And suck all of that up to understand the really key parts and the language that is associated with the client and associated with you. It may be at this point that you actually decide, this is the wrong business for me. And that's a great thing to be in. That's a great position to be in, because there's nothing worse than trying to go for an interview that you don't really want. Go for the interview that you really want. Really, really important. So we covered off about the research. We covered off about knowing the person. Why is this important? Because the culture and values of the business will be directly related to the way in which you behave and the values that you represent at interview. Many of us are familiar with the competency-based interview program, and there's a load of research in the marketplace that you can pick up on Google in terms of example questions around that. I will run a separate question and answer session around this that I'll share with you later in the next month or so. But you can, in the meantime, get loads of examples around competency-based interviews. Answer these questions systematically. Keep your answers to approximately 60 to 90 seconds. Do not waffle, and do not sit there trying to show more and more information about what you've done, because often a courteous interviewer will be very exactly that, courteous, yet actually you will turn them off. So the competency-based interviews will focus on a couple of areas. They'll be looking at how you manage people, where that's important, how you work with other people, how you operate in a team, how you deal with change and uncertainty, how you cope with a crisis, and how you manage responsibility to deliver on the role. There will be a series of questions that will come through that will elicit and draw out your values in terms of how you work with people. So be prepared to answer those particular areas at a minimum. There's 4 or 5, 6 areas that I've mentioned there, 5, 6 areas that I've mentioned. And interestingly, you can link that back to the values and mission statement of the business itself. So a quick recap. Be sure about the business you're meeting. Be sure about the person who you're having the interaction with. Know about the role. Those 3 things are really key, and they will stand you above others who do walk into interviews and don't know what they're looking for. And finally, after you've had all those competency interviews, interview questions, have some questions yourself. At the end of every interview, whatever stage it's at, have some questions to ask. Even if the question is, what's kept you in the business? At a minimum, ask a question. Do not come back with the statement, no, you've answered all my questions. I really enjoyed the meeting. I don't have any questions. Questions illustrate an interest on behalf of the individual that is being asked the question. Should you have no questions at the end of an interview, it potentially shows a less or lack of interest on your part in comparison to others whom they may be interviewing. Questions also provide the interviewer to talk about themselves. So when you ask that question, what do you enjoy about working here? It allows them to talk about themselves and to share that with you. Because remember, up until this point, they've probably sat listening to you talk for the last hour, hour and a half. Asking that question, what's most challenging in your role, allows them to share with you what's gone on in the business. And asking them that question, what are the opportunities for an individual like me to grow as part of your team, will give them a chance to illustrate their leadership skills. It also, importantly, gives you a sense of, is it a business that I want to be part of? Because, as I will share with you here, the first interview is as important for the cultural values to be right between the employer and the employee as it is for the employee to feel comfortable with the business whom they're going to be working for in the future. So as a quick recap, undertake your preparation, understand about the business, the company and the job description. Be prepared to answer competency-based interviews. Use the STAR technique. Check out my link around that piece and I'll post that separately. Have questions at the end of your interview and be prepared to ask those questions and do not provide a rather unimpressive answer of no, you've answered them all. I hope this has been helpful. I'll be posting more about second interviews, STAR technique and competency-based interviews in the future. And I look forward to catching up. Drop me a line with any questions and I will speak to you soon.